So they nicked the leader of the Proud Boys and given him 22 years, or the ex-leader of the Proud Boys, for his part to play in what they called the riots on the Capitol on the day that they were supposed to be swearing in, as far as I understand it, Joe Biden. They've done him for seditious conspiracy, a charge which very rarely ever gets brought out, and he's also copped the most amount of years for that particular charge, which is interesting to know. The other interesting thing to note is that actually he wasn't there for this riot, but they said that he promoted violence and he was charismatic and a great leader, and people obviously listened to him. They were also saying that he was a general, not a soldier. What they're actually saying is that when we rig an election, you won't stand up against it. You won't say a damn thing, and if any of you idiots do, here's what'll happen. There've been over 1,100 arrests connected to that particular thing. But what they want to do is make sure that anybody on the right, or anybody conservative, or anybody who wants to hold on to their traditions in America sees what's happened to the leader of the Proud Boys. Obviously, he's been dubbed far right. Most people do if they stand up for your rights. But anyway, it's a message. If you try to fight back against us, we'll crush you. We'll destroy your life. I mean, 22 years. He's 39 years old now. Or I think he's 39 years old. So, 61. He'll be an old man when he gets out. That's if he ever gets out. A lot of people that make it into the penal system over in America, if they stand up against the system, they generally have something bad happen to them. So God help the bloke. But it's funny because during the time that there was, say for instance, Trump in power and there was Hillary Clinton in power, Antifa were coming out and doing all sorts of stuff, and well, no, not much got done about that. But the time that somebody tries to stand up and say, well, actually, we know that these ballots, they're corrupt. We know that there was election rigging. We saw it go, oh, Trump's doing well, and all of a sudden do that. We saw the video footage that people were taking of all these people taking these bags and running away with them, never to be seen again. And since then, it's been brought to court quite a bit that they've got evidence now, and they've proved that the voting slips or whatever it was, they went missing. All right, but still nothing gets done. Now this bloke, if he did organise it, which they're saying he did, what was he trying to organise? A protest? Was he trying to organise something that would actually stop a further law being broken? Because at the end of the day, what law is it that when your duly elected president doesn't get in because they then rig the elections and put in a complete clusterfuck like Biden? Now, I have to say, who exactly would have voted for Biden? He already looked like he'd lost the plot, and since then we've been proved that he was. We couldn't believe that Trump, as bombastic as he is, mouthy, and can be a real twat at times, had still done so much for the black voter, so much for many other people. The Mexicans that came in legally, because he wanted to stop the illegal ones, because otherwise it just puts two fingers up to the ones that came in legally and made all the effort. But there were many other things. Now, personally, I could have thought of a lot better presidents or people you could have put into that position as president than Trump. But certainly it was the better option than Hillary. But anyway, it does send a very clear signal out to anybody who's a traditionalist, anybody who believes in standing up for actually what's right, somebody who wants to preserve the democracy in their country, somebody who actually believes in right being right, wrong being wrong, and there's no in between really. They want to preserve what the country was made of, and they don't want to sell out to Marxism or communism or socialism, which is rampant through America at the moment. They don't want to sell out to degeneracy. They don't want to see people in schools or libraries with little infants around, scantily dressed, showing their pieces off. They don't want that. They want the nucleus of the family. They want, old-fashioned traditions. They want decent stuff. But I'm afraid you can't destroy a nation when they're doing that. You can't destroy a nation when they say, for instance, the Bible Belt's still going to church, when people believe in the flag and they believe in their country and they believe in right and wrong and all that sort of stuff, you can't destroy the country. But obviously with the education system the way it is over in America at the moment, teaching some of the most disgusting views going, right? And with them pushing all sorts of weird shit through TV, media and all the rest of it. And every time that somebody who stands up for the right thing speaks up, they call him a racist, a fascist and any other word you want, right? And then you get this bloke who wasn't even there at the time because he'd been arrested the day before, but don't worry, we'll fit you up because, well, you could lead another one of these. And 22 years of his life is going to be gone. That's if he ever makes it out, because when you go against the system like he has and you become a threat to the system, usually they put you in a prison, then well, awkward accidents happen and you're not heard from again. You're shot dead. So rather worried about him. But just remember that, because what happens in America happens here. They used to have a saying in Ireland, something like, I think if it rains in England on a Monday, we get it on a Wednesday or whatever, something like that. Basically, if we fart in England, 2 days later they smell it in Ireland. But the thing is, I used to say there was a 10-year difference. When you went back to the 70s or 80s, things that were happening over in America made it to us. Not all of it, some of it happened quicker, but generally speaking, 10 years. But now, with the internet and all the rest of it, what happens over in America happens here quicker. Tommy Robinson would be a very good example of people who stand up for the right thing, maybe go about it the wrong way in some cases, because when you stand in certain places, they will arrest you, whatever. What I'm trying to say here is, if they're fitting people up over there at the moment for doing the right thing, they'll do it here. So when we come out and stand up against whatever the next thing is, and God only knows what that is, they will come out against us, and in fact there is one particular leader that's charismatic, they'll come down them. It's kind of sending the signal out, but there it is. Anyway, look, I'm going to get on because the taco breaks up, and I'll see you in a bit.